Uniqo Williams. That's right, it's your boy. Coming at you on a whatever day that I'm coming at you on, because we can do this whenever we want to do it. Why? I mean, I was born on Thursday. 11:47 a.m. Woo! So happy to be amongst you all again. We're back. You know, I hope your day is going well. Matter of fact, I hope your week is going well. You know, I heard a really nice bar today. And he said, the mark of a good man is one who would do anything to make his rights wrong. Now, I know me, man. I have yet to do that, but I'm working on it. And I've improved in a lot of areas, and I think that that's something that we can all be proud of, is improving in a lot of areas where we could have been just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And you know, I hop on this show here to hope that I improve your experience with me on this show. Woo! Let's get right into it. Now, Malika Andrews, she works for ESPN. She's one of their marquee people. Actually, there was a big drama, and we was all behind it because, you know, she's a sister girl. We was behind that. We was behind it. I was behind it. I was 100% here for it. And, you know, after we heard some stuff from Rachel Nichols of ESPN, formerly of ESPN, after she said some things that wasn't the best things to say in regards to, you know, what's up with all this minority stuff? Like, are y'all going to give the best person the job, or is this just like y'all just trying to meet the quota of people of color? And so for a while there, although we love Rachel Nichols, it was something about Malika Andrews. And, you know, we know what that thing was. Now, she's not ugly at all. Oh, very beautiful woman. But she got into the spotlight today. She got into the spotlight today. Now there's some other transgressions. I don't know if I want to call them transgressions, but there were some other things that were going on where, you know, I don't know if I could rock with you on that, shorty. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can rock with you on that. But she got into it with Kendrick Perkins, who played for the Celtics at one point. But she also got into it with Matt Barnes, who played for the Clippers and the Lakers and just Orlando. Played for a lot of teams. But she came for Stephen A. Smith on his show. You know the show. You know the one. First Take. So Malika makes a phone call to the show, First Take, hosted by Stephen A. Smith, Molly Querum, and then, you know, they be having other people in there. But I tell you what, she came bold. She called Stephen A. Smith to the carpet. Called him to the carpet and said, you know what, you need to speak on this. Now, what are we speaking on? We're talking about Ime Udoka, who is in some sort of, you know, whatever it is with Nia Long. We know Nia Long. Nia Long is a hood legend. We know Nia Long. She's one of the more pretty girls that, you know. It ain't about that, though. We love black actors and black actresses. We love that. But in the midst of this Ime Udoka controversy, now this has everything to do with Ime Udoka being caught up in a quote-unquote scandal with somebody, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but somebody that works for the Celtics organization. I guess he laid on top of her, allegedly. All right. It is what it is. That happens, I guess. We talked about work girlfriends before. We talked about that. We've had that conversation. But this particular work situation got the head coach of the Boston Celtics suspended for a whole season. He's done. He's out of here. Just went to the finals just this past year. But he laid on top of somebody that works in this organization. I guess that's prohibited. But we didn't hear about anybody else that got suspended. We didn't hear about anybody else getting terminated, fired, all of the above. We didn't hear about that. But we did hear that he got suspended for the whole season. But Malika Andrews, I would say in this situation here, Stephen A. Smith spoke on this situation. And Malika took it, in my opinion, she took it as you're attacking women. Now, when people say stuff on the internet, when people say stuff on cable, when people say things, I'm a big fan of listening. I like to listen. I don't mind listening to somebody that wants to make a point. I have no problem with that. And so I heard Stephen A. Smith out loud. I heard him. And it sounded like to me that they're saying in these situations where there's some kind of workplace romance or something to that effect, when that happens, only one person in this situation got suspended. And Malika calls up to the show on ESPN on First Take. She calls up here early in the morning. And she says, this is not right. You shouldn't be, and correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she comes up there and she's basically saying, this is all speculation. We don't know, because we know when this story first came out, a lot of people was trying to guess who the woman was in this situation. I feel him on that. Who was the woman? Because apparently she was a married woman. She was a married woman. And I mean, it takes two to tango. Now, if Ime had done the R word, I'm 100% behind Malika. Like, yo, everybody got to pay for this. Like, whoever was involved in this, everybody got to pay. No. It takes two to tango. It takes two to do the do. That's all I'm saying. And Malika called up there as if, Stephen A. was like, Ime, this is what Stephen A. Smith was trying to say. Stephen A. Smith was trying to say that, like, this is what you do in this situation. Because we know that having sex in the workplace and all that stuff and having that work boyfriend, that work girlfriend, whatever you got going on, we know that, there's HR stuff involved. We know that stuff. We know that. Okay? We get it. It's a thing. But when it's a consensual relationship, like, we're both cool with this, bet. All right? Now, there was some private investigators involved, and dude was like, yo, I think my girl is cheating on me, so I'm going to hire a private investigator to see what she's doing. All right, man. If you want to go to them links, man, sometimes you got to feel in your heart that something don't smell right about this pot of chitlins. Sometimes you got to feel that in your heart. But now, I wouldn't go as far as to get a private investigator. I wouldn't do that. But when you feel that in your heart, something ain't right, you just got to go with that gut feeling, right? Correcto? But Malika, again, somebody we stood behind. In the black community, we stood behind her especially based off of what Rachel Nichols said and that she got caught saying. We was rocking with Malika, but there's some things we didn't know about Malika. There's some issues about some of the things that she's been saying on ESPN. I'm just saying. She said that pointing fingers is not okay. Hello. Let's talk about what consensual means, because apparently she doesn't know what, allegedly she doesn't know what consensual means. We had a relationship. Now I don't have all the information. I don't. But as the Celtics did an investigation and they said that it was consensual. Now come on, man. We love Nia Long. We don't want nothing like that to happen to her. It is what but it is what it is. It happened. Okay? It happened. Us as the public, I mean, we just got to take the information and it is what it is. All right, bet. But let's talk about something else Miss Malika did. And I'm not attacking black women or nothing like that. I don't want y'all to come out there and say I was doing anything like that. That's not the case. It's not. It's just not. We're just talking about facts. We're talking about what was said that you can go back and listen to yourself. What I always say, every single show I say, study to show thyself approved. That's from the Bible. Study to show thyself approved. Don't just jump to conclusions or do nothing like that. You got to go off of the facts. All right? You got to go off the facts. So, we also saw over the weekend that Ime Udoka, the suspended head coach of the Boston Celtics, he is being replaced by Joe Mazzulla. So he's going to be the interim head coach. He's going to be the interim head coach of the Boston Celtics. He's 34 years old. He's actually the youngest coach in the league, I think even ever. But here's the problem. Malika goes on after she says, oh, Joe Mazzulla is going to be the interim coach. And you know what else she did? She went out here after she said he's going to be the interim coach. She aired out this man's whole criminal history. Oh. That's odd. It's kind of weird. It's a red flag or two in this situation. So and this is a black man, by the way. And she goes out of her way to tell us Joe Mazzulla's criminal history, some stuff that he did in college. He got into a couple of fights, that kind of thing. And there was some other stuff. I don't know, because I didn't look into it the way that it did. But either way it goes, it was something that happened 13 years ago. Now, me, personally, I take offense to that because in my lifetime, I have made grave errors. Trust me. I've made grave errors. I fuck up all the time. I get it, and I understand. But what I mostly understand is the fact that, we don't need to bring that up when I'm trying to do right. When we're trying to do right as black men, we always get put in the spotlight. And not even it's the things that may have happened in our lives. They don't ever talk about the good stuff. And it just felt like Malika came on there today and she didn't listen for understanding. She was listening to respond to Stephen A. And Stephen A. said, no. This is my show. You're trying to stop me on my show, and that's not going to happen. This is my show. I'm here for it. I get it. But when you're trying to get away from your past, when you're trying to get away from your demons and the things that haunt you, you get into a position where you have an opportunity to make better of yourself and the people around you. People love to bring up the shit you did in the past. That shit ain't cool, man. Especially, especially as black folk, we already got it hard enough as it is. As black men, we got it the hardest, I believe. I'm sorry, most hard, in my opinion. I believe that is a tough thing. And it gets held against you. All right, infidelity, that's one thing. It is what it is. I don't know his situation with Nia Long. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm not going to speculate on their situation. I'm not going to speculate on their relationship. I'm not going to speculate on that. No. But people have the right to, in a sense, think about the punishments and whatnot, because let's talk about this. This is a thing. Skip Bayless told a story that back when he was covering Dallas, back when he was covering, the NFL and all that stuff, back when he was doing all that, having sex within the workplace, that ran rampant. Having sex with flight attendants and all that stuff, that ran rampant. And over the years, that changed. More and more of, nah, y'all really can't do this because it creates a toxic environment. Y'all can't do this stuff in the workplace because it can cause problems. And ESPN, ESPN actually came up with a policy, a company policy, if you will, that says that coworkers, nah, y'all just don't do it at all. Well, Malika Andrews got a little boyfriend, and he works for ESPN. He's a fellow reporter. So it may seem like, because when you have a relationship in the workplace, I ain't never did this. But when you have a relationship in the workplace, you're supposed to tell HR and let them know, like, hey, this is a thing, so like they can get ahead of it if y'all don't go right, or if somebody is superior or whatever, y'all rocking and doing what y'all do together. That's an HR thing, but it's not something that's supposed to come out in the media. It's something that you handle inside the media. I mean, not inside the media, in the workplace. You handle that at home. You handle that at work. Now, luckily, I ain't never been in no situation like that. But in this particular situation, I'm just saying, is the pot in the skillet? Are they calling each other black right now? I guess that's up for somebody else's side. But if the man's fate is sealed in regards to this year. He will be suspended for the whole year, even after he made it through the finals. Like, you would think. I think there was a point in time where this could have slid under the rug. That would have been perfectly fine. But in this day and age, he got suspended. Where is her accountability? Huh? Hello? Where is her accountability? Is there anything that is she not suspended? Is she still with the team? Is she still with the organization? Are they saying it's because of his role with the Celtics would be enough for somebody to be like, you know what, he used his role against me. Now there's stories out there saying that, like, she tried to end it because she's married. She tried to end it, and I guess he kept pursuing her. All right, cool. All right, I get that part of it too, man. You don't harass no woman. It is what it is. Leave them alone. If they don't want to be bothered, leave them alone. I get all that. But I'm just saying. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So we'll keep an eye on that story. I'm just saying, I heard that ESPN said that you can't have no relationships within the company. So I guess they're going to go ahead and let it go. For my next story, we got Robert Sarver. He is the owner of the Phoenix Suns, and he is under fire after allegedly creating a toxic work environment. Man, that's like, what is that? Is that a theme this week? Toxic work environments? But apparently he was saying the N-word, and in 2016, allegedly, as soon as 2016, allegedly, he said, "Why can't I say the N-word? They always say it. Why is that y'all go to, bro?" He said it, why can't I? He said it in the song, why can't I? Why is that still a question? I thought you knew. I thought you knew why you couldn't say that. I just thought you knew. You don't ask the question. Just, it is what it is. Don't ask that question. It is what it is. The N-word is just off limits for you, man. I need for y'all entitled people. To stop thinking that you can just have everything. Because you can't. You cannot just have everything. I'm sorry. Entitled people, you can't just have everything. And the N-word is one of them. You can't say it. All right? Like, stop asking the question. You can't say it. It's a wrap. Because you use that word to disparage black people throughout history. You can't do it. Because that word has a negative connotation because of you. Because you put a negative connotation on that word. All right, I get it. Black people use it now as a term of endearment and whatever. I get it. You can't say it. You can't say it. One more time. You can't say it. Don't ask why. I just explained to you why you can't say it. But don't say it. That's just it, and that's all. You can't say it. It's over with, or you will be met with backlash. So it is what it is. I guess he was also allegedly saying some stuff to inappropriate things to women in the workplace. Can't do that. In my HR classes, or in my HR, like, I don't know, they make you watch those videos and whatnot. You got one chance to ask a female or just somebody else, period. You got one opportunity to ask them on a date. And if they say no, you can't ask them again. That's HR 101. Why do I know that? Because I be showing out. And on some real stuff, yeah, one time. Don't do it again, period. I've never got that warning. I've never got that, but I just remember watching a video when it was like, hey, you got to do this whole HR workplace development thing. That's how I know that, is because in those videos, they was like, yo, you can ask to take them out on a date or hang out with them like one time. If they say no, it's a wrap. So there's that part of it. You're the owner of the team. What kind of pressure do you feel like somebody would be under when you ask them out or you say something inappropriate to them? You're their boss. You can't do that. So keep that in mind, man. I don't know what's going on in Phoenix, man, but a lot of stuff is coming out in regards to like these owners. Because remember, we just had that Donald Sterling situation going on in L.A. And Chris Paul, he was a part of that situation in regards to he was on the team when, you know, the whole don't bring no black dude to my game. How dare you can't do that? Donald Sterling, I don't know, man. He was the epitome of showing off that privilege. So, that being said, you can't do that, man. You can't do it. It's a different world we live in, man. It's a different world we live in. Like, I think even I got the right to turn somebody down. If somebody try and holler at me, I think I got the right at my job. Ain't nobody did that now. We all away from home. Can't nobody see me no more. But, can't do it, man. Y'all leave it alone. Leave it alone. She tell you no, leave it alone. If you're in a position of power, leave her alone. Leave them alone. It's really not that hard. I don't know what, millions of women in the world or just billions of people. Leave that shit alone, man. There's plenty of people you can holler at. That's all I'm trying to say. Man, so did y'all watch Jeffrey Dahmer this past weekend? Did y'all watch it over the past week? You know that Netflix just came out with a Jeffrey Dahmer. What do you want to call it? It wasn't a docu-series, but it was kind of a docu-series. Like, it wasn't like with the actual real footage and whatnot, where, you know, they was going through the motions and telling you every single thing that happened up to that point. It was not one of those. It was not. It 100% was not. What it was, though, they got this guy. I can't even think of his name right now. I apologize. They got him to be the actor for Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, if you don't know Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial unaliver. And not only was he a serial unaliver, he was a deviant in the way of not from his sexual orientation, but from I'ma eat you. What they say? You thought I was, what that girl say on that doggone song? You thought I was into you? You was lunch. He meant that. He 100% meant that. Like, he was bringing people over to the house, and he was literally eating them. So, with that being said, okay, so here's the controversy that goes with this. The controversy is that the victims, their family is like, yo, we don't want to relive this again. Now, most people would be like, oh, don't watch it then, don't do that. No, like, they actually were they portrayed one of the victim's sisters in the actual show. Like, she went off on Dahmer in the courtroom, and they reenacted that scene. People don't want to see that shit again. I get that. I get it. I wasn't involved in it. I didn't have any family close to this at all. But I will say this. I think that this show was good, because not only was Niecy Nash amazing in this, but it was more of shedding light on what black folk was really going through. See, you know, back in them days, it was one thing to be gay, but it was another thing to be black too. Like, those two things, man, you got tough times coming. And Niecy Nash character was like, man, this dude's house, his apartment stinks. It smells like dead people. And she did her best to bring attention to this. And the final straw was when there was a, what that boy was. He was like Peloponnesian or Philippines or something like that. But he was of Asian-ish Pacific Islander descent. And the police was like, what's going on? And he came, and Niecy Nash's character was like, was it Cleveland, I believe? She was like, nah, bruh, this is crazy. This is wild. This dude, his house smells like dead people. And then this kid, this is a kid. This is not an 18 or 19-year-old. Jeffrey Dahmer comes out, white privilege, and what'd he say? Basically, in a sense, he told the police, like, hey man, we just got some boyfriend stuff going on, so no big deal. He's just drunk. This dude. So Jeffrey Dahmer, his dad was actually like a chemical guy or some kind of like a biologist or something like that, and he taught Jeffrey all this stuff, and he taught him how to do this with animals and like how to bleach bones and all this stuff. Crazy, right? And so he knows these things, and he knows how to put living or used to be living things in like acid and all that kind of stuff. He learned how to do that stuff. And his sister girl's like trying to tell the police, like, yo, this dude is not, he's no good. But the police continue to neglect her and neglect Dahmer. He would go on to unalive 17 people. And who knows, there might be more, but this dude is sick. This dude is sick in the head, man. So I understand. So I mean, I said all that to say this because I wanted to preference everything with that. I get it that the families don't want to relive that. I understand that. I get it. I don't know what point in time this story should have come out because this story is pretty old. But I'm sure that there was a time that this show could have come out where it actually would have evoked some change. And we would hope that something happens behind this. But I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe police will do better. I don't know. But all I'm saying is this. Things like this need to be shared. These kind of stories. Like I said, I know the families and the families of the victims, they don't need to see this. I get that. I'm sure they don't want to relive something that happened in like 92. I'm sure they don't want to relive that because it's 2022. But man, I just feel like this shows so much of what people of color go through. I just think that it shows what people of color, in a sense, have gone through. There's no real justice in a lot of situations. I just read something about in Texas that a police officer got away with killing an unarmed man again. And I just, there's a history of this. It's documented. We need this stuff. We need that. So we can really see where we've been in this country and where we would like to go. But we need to be able to look back and be like, man, black people just have not had it good in a lot of different situations. So that is what it is. And for here, and I don't mean to just segue away from just this tragic event, but we need to talk about some good stuff for a second. Wolverine has a stay. He is back. Hugh Jackman is back in the MCU. They bringing Deadpool into the MCU. Deadpool 3 will be out. We are excited about that. It just made my day. It made my day, and I'm so happy. Shout out to John Krasinski said, oh, is this our movie? So we know that we got Richard Reed in this. Is this going to be some kind of multiverse stuff? We don't know, but we're excited to hear this. We are very excited. I thought that was going to be the last that we see of Richard Reed, who leads Mr. Fantastic, who leads the Fantastic Four. John Krasinski plays him, and he did a great job in what was that? I don't know, something about that Scarlet Witch girl. I can't remember. Oh, Doctor Doom. No, what's that boy name? Doctor Strange. Bro, stop, man. You just have to get weird, just like your dog just be over here just doing weird stuff. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what he's doing. He's being real weird. But yeah, we are definitely happy about that. And also, I got another reminder for you. Brett Favre stole $5 million from the poor folks in Mississippi. I just hope that y'all didn't forget that, chat. He took $5 million from the welfare fund, allegedly. He took money from them, and he used it to build a stadium for volleyball for the University of Southern Mississippi. So I just wanted to remind y'all that he allegedly stole $5 million from the people that need it the most. Now, ladies, if you're looking for somebody to, steal your heart, And it's probably, you know, you're probably going through it. Your heart is probably full of just, despondent, hurt, broken. Well, look no further than me. That's right. Go to christianmingle.com and look up our Squalamew and Honey. Holla enrich both of our lives. That's right. Y'all already know the deal. Catch me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99 Media is where you can find me. That's where you're watching it right now. But definitely go to Uniqo Williams, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just listen to me in your sleep if you want to. Or just listen to me while you're doing whatever activities you're doing. It doesn't matter. But thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Do You Hear Me? Uniqo Williams. I holla. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget, every Thursday, the full podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99 ENT bring you videos from Friday all the way to Friday. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much.